Google is one of the wealthiest and all-pervasive companies in the world, and the company's history is a story of classic entrepreneurialism, hard work, and a little luck. From humble beginnings, the company has blossomed into a world leader in online advertising, cloud computing, software, and hardware solutions. Alexa, a company that monitors commercial web traffic, lists Google.com as the most visited website in the world. Did you know, Google was initially called BackRub? It was named based on its algorithm that analyzed the web's backlinks. Imagine if they'd kept the original name. Let me BackRub that real quick. With it being a lot of years since the company was launched, it's a good time to look at the history of Google and how they went from being called BackRub to becoming the internet that we usually refer to. Google's mission statement is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful, but also has an unofficial statement, don't be evil. This motto was replaced in 2015 to do the right thing. Some might chuckle at this, given that Google's altruistic mission has been increasingly called into doubt due to a number of actions that appear to contradict this motto. So how did they do it? Here is our short biography of everything, almost, that you need to know about Google's history. Google's history began in 1995 when Larry Page met Sergey Brin. At the time, Larry Page was a PhD student at Stanford University, and Sergey was considering studying there. Lawrence Page was born on March 26, 1973, in East Lansing, Michigan. His father, Carl Page, was a pioneer in computer science and artificial intelligence, and his mother taught computer programming. After earning a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering from the University of Michigan, Page decided to concentrate on computer engineering for graduate school at Stanford University, where he met Brin. Sergei Mikhailovich Brin was born on August 21, 1973, in Moscow, Russia. The son of a Soviet mathematician-economist, Brin and his family emigrated to the United States to escape Jewish persecution in 1979. After receiving his degree in mathematics and computer science from the University of Maryland at College Park, Brin entered Stanford University, where he met Larry Page. Both students were completing doctorates in computer science. In 1996, the pair began work on a search engine called BackRub. Initially nicknamed BackRub, both sure loved their wordplay. The Google.com domain name was registered on September 15, 1997, and the company was incorporated on September 4, 1998. The name surely had some very positive effects on the history of Google. They settled on the name Google, from the word Googol, a mathematical term for the number represented by the numeral 1 followed by 100 zeros. They chose it over BackRub since it sounded better and reflected their mission to organize a seemingly infinite amount of information on the web. Page and Brin originally wanted to be academics, not business owners. After developing their initial search engine, they tried to raise investment, or sell the company. After failing to find a buyer, they finally went to Yahoo. Yahoo turned them down. Google's first office was, classically, a friend's garage in Menlo Park, California. It came with a remote controller for the garage door. Google also hired its first employee, Craig Silverstein, who stayed with the company for more than 10 years before joining another startup, Khan Academy. In August of 1998, Sun co-founder Andy Bechtolsheim wrote a check for $100,000 to the as-yet non-existent company Google Incorporated. It was twice the amount the pair asked for. But what's more surprising was that Google was not even incorporated at the time of receiving the check. Andy had come over to listen to their pitch and liked the idea as well as the answer he got for his question: how will they make money from providing search results? Page and Larry suggested the placement of search ads that were placed in the search results that were relevant and related to whatever the user searched, and they would charge for the placement of the said ads. With the funding in hand, Google officially incorporated in their garage headquarters with Larry Page acting as the CEO on September 4, 1998, to become Google Inc. In February 1999, Google moved from its humble garage to its new base of operations at 165 University Avenue, Palo Alto, with the help of the recently acquired funding. This was also the same office building that housed companies like PayPal and Logitech. Their most important team member, Yashka the dog, also joined the team at this time. The company was growing at breakneck speeds, both technologically and financially. It started hiring more employees and started investing in more hardware to spider, index, and catalog the web pages and serve its users. It was also around this time when Google adopted its famous, but unofficial, corporate philosophy, "Don't be evil." Andy Bechtolsheim's investment gamble really paid off, but other potential early investors missed their opportunity. Bessemer Investments partner, David Cowan, heard about Brin and Page in 1998, while they were still working in the garage, but failed to invest. This decision has been called the anti-portfolio. Another missed opportunity for investors occurred in the early months of 1999 when Page and Brin toyed with the idea of selling their project in order to focus on their studies. George Bell, CEO of Excite, was approached with a $1 million buyout offer. Bell rejected this offer as preposterous. Follow-up negotiations almost led to a $750,000 counteroffer, but Brin and Page stuck to their guns. According to George Bell, they asked for investment instead, but he decided against it. About 5 months later, Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Byers and Sequoia Capital agreed to invest $25 million in the company. These two venture capital firms were normally fierce rivals. Seeing Google's potential, however, they both took seats on the board of directors. Even with this new funding, the board met around a ping-pong table. As impressive as the missed offers are, they are trumped by the story of Oingo and James Altucher. After refusing 6 offers to purchase the fledgling company, Oingo changed its name to Applied Semantics and accepted the 7th offer, from Google, for around $102 million in cash and stock. They are now known as Google AdSense. In 2002, Brin and Page approached Yahoo once again. This time, they needed to raise $3 billion in funds. Terry Semel, then Yahoo the CEO, once again refused the offer as Yahoo was looking to build its own answer to Google. In 2001, Google appointed Eric Schmidt as the CEO upon Sequoia Capital insisting they do so due to the rapid growth of the company. Eric Schmidt had joined Google in May as chairman of the board of directors and had previously served as chairman and CEO of Novell and CTO of Sun Microsystems. This allowed both Larry and Sergey to pour their attention back into the technology aspect of things instead of trying to manage the company. 2001 saw Google's first public acquisition, Deja.com Usenet discussion service, which was an archive of 500 million user discussions dating back to 1995. Other improvements to Google included multilingualism, international celebrations, Bastille Day, and Google Toolbar, a plugin that allows the user to search without opening the homepage. Google kept things light by adding joke languages, including Klingon, and launching Google Images. Google also launched its first international office in Tokyo. Additionally, in 2001, Google released its first annual Google Zeitgeist, which takes a look at what millions of people searched for over the previous year, a tradition that still continues to this day. In a turn of events, Yahoo made Page and Brin an offer of $3 billion in 2003, but by then Page and Brin were more aware of the product that they had at hand and refused the deal. In 2004, they moved to a newly leased headquarters with over 800 employees. This headquarters is Googleplex as we know of it today. On April 1, 2004, they introduced Gmail, their email service. Because it was on April Fool's Day, the users all thought it was a prank at first. Google was quite elaborate with its previous pranks. Mentalplex is a great one. In 2005, Google Maps was born, with satellite imagery and directions added a few months later. Also in 2005, YouTube's, not yet part of Google, first video went online. Phone apps became a big part of Google's strategy in 2005 with search software and Google Maps available on mobile platforms. Google Earth came online that summer. At the same time, Google Analytics was launched, to help developers measure their marketing impact in offices opened in Sao Paulo and Mexico City. The word Google was added to the Oxford English Dictionary in 2006. The company's mission to organize data continued with Google Calendar, Google Finance. Google Trends launched and YouTube was acquired for $1.65 billion. Also, in 2006, Google Translate was first launched with the mission of breaking language barriers and making the world more accessible. A major amount of Google costs was because of royalties it had to pay to different browsers to keep it as a default search engine. To combat this, the founding pair hired several Mozilla Firefox developers to build a browser owned by Google. Eric Schmidt opposed the idea at first but was amazed after seeing the demonstrative product. Google Chrome was officially launched as a beta version on September 2, 2008 for Windows XP. It was a minimalistic browser which, just like Google, disrupted the existing market and paved its way through easily. Google also hired some goats to clean up their Googleplex campus and reduce fire hazards by eating the bush on the campus grounds. 2011 saw the launch of Google Flights. This service, in case you are not aware, enables users to search and book flights through third-party suppliers. It has, in its own way, helped challenge the dominance of other sites like Kayak or Skyscanner. In 2014, Google launched its free web service Google Classroom. Created with the aim to simplify the creation, distribution, and grading of assignments, it has since proved pivotal in streamlining the process of sharing files between teachers and their students. In 2013, Google topped up its commitment to renewable energy by investing $200 million in a wind farm in Texas. The company also unveiled a plan to provide balloon-powered internet access, so-called Project Loon, and teamed up with Starbucks to provide free Wi-Fi to all Starbucks stores in the US. 2015 saw the launch of Google Photos, not to be confused with Google Images. Google's iconic logo has undergone several changes and revivals throughout its history. The first logo, designed by Brin, was created using GIMP. A revised logo was designed by graphic designer Ruth Catter, and was used between 1999 and 2013. The company's logo also regularly undergoes modifications, such as the inclusion of different graphics on holidays, birthdays of famous people, or major events. These special logos, some designed by Dennis Huang, have become known as Google Doodles. But what about the colors? Graphic designer Ruth Kedar explains, there were a lot of different color iterations. We ended up with the primary colors, but instead of having the pattern go in order, we put a secondary color on the L, which brought back the idea that Google doesn't follow the rules. Google has almost become synonymous with the Internet. The term Google is officially recognized by the Oxford Dictionary as a verb. Almost everyone on the Internet has used either Google services or products in some way or another. These statements are no exaggeration, considering Google has over 1 billion people using each of its products and services. It also doesn't look like they'll stop growing anytime soon. That's it for today. I hope it was interesting history about this company. For more interesting success stories, subscribe to my channel. I don't tell you bye, but I tell you until new stories.